Futures trading does not blow up your account. Bad leverage management does. In this Gate Futures trading tutorial, I'm going to show you how crypto futures really work, why most beginners get liquidated, and how to trade in a way that protects your capital instead of gambling with it. If you've ever searched how to trade crypto futures and ended up more confused than before, this video will simplify everything. And before we go deeper, make sure you register using the link in the description and enter the referral code BACKBACK to get a 20% fee rebate on both spot and futures trading plus a welcome bonus up to $10,000. In futures, fees add up fast, so reducing them from day one matters. Let's remove the hype. Crypto futures is not magic money. It is a contract that allows you to speculate on price movement without owning the underlying coin. When you trade spot, you buy Bitcoin and you hold it. When you trade futures, you trade the direction of Bitcoin. You can go long if you believe price will rise or short if you believe price will fall. That flexibility is powerful, but it also introduces leverage. Leverage allows you to control a larger position with a smaller amount of capital. That is where most problems begin. When people search Gate Futures trading tutorial, what they usually want is higher profit potential. But what they often ignore is that leverage magnifies both profit and loss. If you use 10 times leverage, a 10% move against you can wipe out your position. Futures are not dangerous by default. Misunderstood leverage is dangerous. Most beginners think liquidation happens randomly. It does not. Liquidation happens when your account no longer has enough margin to maintain the open position. There are two key concepts here: initial margin and maintenance margin. Initial margin is what you put down to open the trade. Maintenance margin is the minimum amount required to keep it open. If losses reduce your margin below the maintenance level, the system automatically closes your position. That is liquidation. The mistake most traders make is choosing high leverage without calculating liquidation price. They see 20 times leverage and think about profit, not risk distance. Higher leverage moves your liquidation price closer to your entry. That means even small normal market fluctuations can eliminate your trade. Another common confusion is cross versus isolated margin. In isolated mode, only the margin assigned to that specific position is at risk. In cross mode, your entire futures balance can be used to prevent liquidation. Beginners often select cross without understanding that one bad position can drain their whole account. Liquidation price is not random. It is based on your entry price, leverage level, position size, and maintenance margin requirements. The higher the leverage, the closer the liquidation price moves toward your entry. If you enter a long position and the market drops slightly, high leverage means you reach the liquidation threshold faster. Lower leverage gives your trade more breathing room. This is why high leverage does not mean higher skill. It simply means thinner margin for error. Professional traders often use lower leverage and larger capital instead of gambling on extreme multipliers. If you truly want to learn how to trade crypto futures safely, you must think in terms of risk distance, not just potential reward. Now, let's walk through the process logically. First, create your account on Gate EO using the link in the description and enter the referral code BACKBACK. This activates your 20% fee rebate on spot and futures and may qualify you for a welcome bonus, up to $10,000 depending on your activity. Because futures trading involves frequent entries and exits, lowering fees improves your long-term performance. After registering and securing your account, transfer funds into your futures wallet. Choose the contract type, usually a USDT perpetual contract for beginners. Next, select your margin mode. If you are new, start with isolated margin so your risk is limited to the position size you define. Then choose your leverage carefully. Instead of jumping to 20 times leverage, consider starting with 2 to 5 times leverage. This gives you more space before liquidation. Select order type, either market for instant execution or limit for price control. Define your position size based on a small percentage of your total capital. And most importantly, set a stop loss before entering the trade. A stop loss is your controlled exit. Liquidation is forced exit. Professionals choose controlled exits. Now let's talk about leverage the right way. Most beginners ask, what is the best leverage to use? That is the wrong question. The correct question is, how much room do I want before I am wrong? Lower leverage gives you more distance between your entry and liquidation price. For example, using 2 to 5 times leverage allows normal market fluctuations without instantly threatening your position. When you use 20 times leverage, even a small move against you can trigger liquidation. That is not professional trading, that is thin margin gambling. A simple mindset shift can change everything. Instead of asking how much can I make, ask how much can I afford to lose on this trade. Professional traders focus on survival first. If you survive long enough, profit becomes possible. If you chase high leverage early, you remove your ability to stay in the game. Let me give you a basic framework that most beginners ignore. First, risk a small percentage of your total capital per trade. Many disciplined traders risk 1 to 2% per position. That means even a losing streak will not destroy your account. Second, always define your stop loss before entering. Do not move it emotionally once the trade is live. Third, never use your entire futures balance on one position. Keep reserve capital. This protects you from sudden volatility spikes. When you combine controlled leverage, predefined stop loss, and limited risk per trade, you dramatically reduce the probability of liquidation. Futures become a strategic tool instead of a casino. One of the biggest mistakes is revenge trading. After a loss, traders immediately open another position with higher leverage trying to recover. This usually leads to bigger losses. Another mistake is ignoring funding rates. In perpetual contracts, funding payments can add up if you hold positions for long periods, especially in highly imbalanced markets. Beginners often forget this cost. Overtrading is another silent killer. Just because futures markets are open 24 hours does not mean you must trade constantly. Quality setups matter more than quantity. The more trades you place without a plan, the more fees you pay and the more emotional decisions you make. Futures trading often involves multiple entries, exits, and adjustments. Every action generates fees. That is why reducing trading costs is not optional, it is strategic. When you register on Gate, EO using the referral code BACKBACK, you receive a 20% rebate on spot and futures trading fees. Over time, especially if you are active, this rebate directly increases your net profitability. In addition, you may qualify for a welcome bonus up to $10,000 depending on your activity. If you are serious about learning how to trade crypto futures properly, optimizing fees from the beginning gives you a measurable advantage. If you are ready to trade crypto futures without gambling, here is your next step. Click the link in the description, create your Gate EO account, and enter the referral code BACKBACK to activate your 20% fee rebate and welcome bonus eligibility. Start with small leverage, use isolated margin, define your stop loss, and focus on consistency instead of hype. Futures trading is not about extreme leverage. It is about controlled risk and structured execution. If this Gate Futures trading tutorial helped you understand how to trade crypto futures safely, subscribe for more in-depth guides and use the link below with code BACKBACK to start trading smarter, not riskier.